Salute, folks. It's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor, Alonzo Hall, your social media insurance bro. Back again today to weapon tap on your head with another ADH Wealth Solution article. Today, we're looking at an article from advisorhub.com, written February 11, 2026 by Carmen Alexander, about an ex-Edward Jones broker who accuses the firm of bias in a wrongful termination lawsuit. Before I continue, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or for an evaluation of your own, my links are in the description of this video. So as you know, ladies and gentlemen, I'll generally read the article. This will be my first time reading the article, so it's just as fresh to you as it is to me and vice versa. And I'll also likely pause and give commentary to it. So let's continue. A black former Edward Jones & Co. broker in Texarkana, Arkansas, claimed that the firm racially profiled him and wrongly terminated him over unfounded allegations of drug use. Pause. Let's stop there, ladies and gentlemen. I grow tired of being a black American, hearing how many black Americans are complaining about power and generational wealth, so on and so forth, and the lack of businesses there when we don't even support the ones that exists. These are licensed financial professionals. There are a multitude of cases where people work at firms, and you have, as an American, the absolute freedom to work where you do see fit for you to work. But if you guys are all claiming these allegations, why don't you go to the black-owned firm, such as Harlem Capital or Ariel Investments, or start your own RIAs? I understand you want a giant name, so maybe work together with a giant like Ariel Investments. Let's continue. Michael L. Rhodes, who started his career in 2017 with the St. Louis-based firm, was discharged in 2024 over allegations that he did not adhere to the firm's internal professional conduct policy, according to registration records. Rhodes, who is now with Ameriprise Financial, said on Wednesday that those allegations were false and based on a racially biased accusation that he had used marijuana in his branch office, according to a complaint filed in U.S. District Court in Arkansas. Edward Jones based the termination on photos from a client associate at the office who found an empty container with a marijuana label in a trash can by the front entrance and a plate with pieces of dirt on it, Rhodes wrote. He claims that the firm did not conduct a meaningful investigation into the allegations and instead racially profiled Mr. Rhodes and incorrectly determined he was a marijuana user. Society has a long history of racial profiling African American men as drug users, Rhodes wrote in the complaint. Edward Jones's investigation into this unsubstantiated claims that Mr. Rhodes used marijuana at the Texarkana office provides compelling evidence that Edward Jones has not moved past this prejudicial notion. Rhodes said that he had found the container on the sidewalk in front of the office one morning in October 24 and had placed it in the trash, assuming it was litter. The client associate later saw the container and sent a photo to Rhodes. He said the presence of the container was not unusual, given their office was next to a rehab center. Rhodes also said dirt on the plate appeared to be from an office plant. Rhodes alleged that he had several issues with the client associate. She had spread gossip about his purported marijuana use that eventually made its way to Edward Jones's human resource team, which conducted a brief investigation based entirely on her supposition, Rhodes alleged. I mean, realistically, ladies and gentlemen, pause, the easiest way to go about this would have been to have taken a marijuana test. Edward Jones refused to allow Rhodes to submit to a drug test. Well, that's kind of messed up then. To prove that he was not using illegal drugs, according to the complaint. Rhodes maintains that he has been a longtime successful employee of Edward Jones with a clean record of employment. The complaint is seeking unspecified back pay, attorney's fees, and compensatory and punitive damages. Our goal is to try to restore Mr. Rhodes' good name in the industry and in the civic community, said William B. Fetterman of Fetterman and Sherwin in Oklahoma City, who represents Rhodes. Fetterman declined to discuss specific about Rhodes' practice or how the termination affected his client assets under management. A spokesperson for Edward Jones said the firm has not yet been served with the lawsuit and is not familiar with the allegations. The firm remains committed to creating culture of belonging for our associates and clients and making a positive impact in our communities, the spokesperson added. Edward Jones, one of the largest in the industry by its more than 20,000 brokers, has been a frequent target of discrimination and reverse discrimination suits from advisors and client associates. In January, a client associate at Edward Jones sued the firm over allegations that it ignored complaints of harassment and discrimination from an advisor, which ultimately resulted in her termination. The case is pending. Someone said, this is happening frequently on the national scale at Daddy Jones. And he said, Edward Jones has a widening reputation for terminating advisors based on questionable circumstances. Yeah. I wonder what the client associate's ethnicity was and why he was not allowed to take a drug test to prove his innocence. Marijuana stays in the system for at least 30 days. Someone said, what a surprise. Wrongful termination at Ed Jones? They should brace for more of these based on recent biased layoff activity. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today. Make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. Remember, folks, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.